like this person wishes that they could exhibit their own masculine and feminine energies in a more balanced way like that. But they're consistently suppressing parts of their femininity as a male, and that's like bleeding over into making them behave with their femininity in ways that are toxic. See, it's like that's the thing. Every human being on the planet is operating with both feminine and masculine energy in various proportions and various constructive or destructive patterns at all times. And is each of our own choice how we utilize our energies and present them and operate in them, whether we choose to allow them to come forward as balanced or whether we suppress one portion or the other section or whatever. Um, so it's like this person is essentially harming themselves by placing these artificial limits on their energy because they fear the judgment of others and like the consequences of everything they did to like hide this about themselves. Because I'm getting that this person has gone to like some pretty great lengths, but the thing is, the masculine and feminine, this person doesn't know how to like say what they need to say. They can't get it out, they can't spit it out. It's like weighing heavily on them. But the masculine and feminine energies are still operating. It's just what they're doing to themselves is preventing their feminine energy from being exhibited in a healthy way. So it still comes out, it still gets presented, we still see it, but it comes across as being like petty and catty and gossipy and like yeah, I don't know, and that sort of like like diva energy. Um, okay, there's something about that diva, something about an IV and a DA. Yeah, I'm just gonna make this one longer and finish it. So something about, because like all of this in this series that I've been talking about, it's related to this group of people, this collaboration, this partnership that we're like scheming against someone to like make someone else the scapegoat or like take the fall for like or like draw the attention away from themselves so like no one sees like what's so they can keep hiding. um and like there have been bribes offered, bribes taken. That's part of that's part of why someone had to like circumvent and go around like the local law enforcement and legal channels and stuff, because like some of those people are the ones who were politely ignoring it because they agreed to do so for what they received. um I'm getting it. It may not always be like a literal bribe of money, that this person is really, really fond of using coercion and blackmail against people instead. Like something about that is just so much more fun for them. Because this person isn't just greedy with money, they're greedy with energy. They're hungry for power. And it's because of the ways in which they felt so powerless in their childhood. This person needs to go to therapy and quit taking out all of their trauma on other people that didn't actually do anything to them except, respect their own space and respect their own boundaries when they didn't like when this person is coming and making their trauma patterns their problem. um it's something about that feels like a failure to this person. Like if they decided to like break down and like go to therapy and address all of these things that have like snowballed again, something about the winter that's significant, and like a ball of snow, a like white ball. Somebody could have done some substances with another person over the holidays. That's something happened that day and someone let something slip that they shouldn't have. Um but this person, like, because this was never really addressed when they were younger, and I'm getting this in some respects this is part of like a more of a hands-off approach from like parents, mentors, like older figures in this person's life when they were younger. Like I'm getting this person was kind of left to fend for themselves a lot, and this person really, for whatever they needed to be nurtured a bit more. They needed to receive more love than what they were afforded. And I don't know, it's like the more that they like acted out because of this when they were younger, the more they were like shunned, the more like people threw their hands up and said they weren't dealing with it when that person really needed help that they didn't receive. And now as an adult, they're very, I don't know, it's like deep down there's a part of them that recognizes that they were sort of let down in their childhood, and they feel some resentment about that. Um but it's because they've been left to fend for themselves and like and do for their own all this time. There's a part of them that's like stubborn and sees it as a personal failure on their part that they haven't been able to heal these parts of themselves, their self. Again, that could be more than one person. So it's like this person is like stubborn and doesn't take care of their mental health. That's part of how it got to be so bad. It keeps snowballing. It keeps getting worse because they just dig their heels in. And something back to like the DA and the IV. So, like there's been a lot going on in the courthouse as far as those like bribes and blackmailing and stuff goes. But there's some sort of district attorney somewhere. This may be locally because that's where people have the connections. But I'm getting there may be some other legal proceedings not related to anything that happened or needed to be filed locally. That like because things have gotten bigger, things have gotten out of hand, things have like escalated. There are some like other legal proceedings elsewhere. So it's unclear whether this is like a local DA or one in a farther away place, so that it's a little more obscured. But like this whoever this person is, they like falsified something for this person, either because they were being blackmailed or because there was some sort of reward for doing so, and they didn't think anything would ever come of it because like there's something about there's a lot of like corruption and underhand deals going on in this place where this DA is, this one. And like this person has gotten sick. I was also hearing something about a divorce attorney. They're like there could be some other that's like some attorney, some lawyer that someone is like hiring for divorce. But there's something like fishy about that. But anyway, like the DA is sick, like or will be sick, like, and with the IV, there's something about being hospitalized. Um, Needing fluids, dehydrated, dry skin, broken a fingernail. But there's something about like it's like going into the hospital for one thing and coming out with another. Or someone thinks they're sick with one thing, but it's actually something else. And like it ended up getting to the point where they had to go to the hospital and get an IV to get fluids. Cause like something was dehydrating, that making their body dehydrated. It's coming back to like something about the poison to some degree, but there's also something about like a communicable disease. it was, it's like, but to be passed by mouth. Like something about saliva being transferred somehow, some way, somewhere, trying to infect someone with something. And something about that was like to keep that person around. I don't know. All of these things are like running together. So there's something about the poison and being hospitalized and like maybe thinking it's like a regular illness, but it was like really poison. But because there wasn't any reason to think it wasn't a regular illness, that I don't know. There was no awareness to do a like toxicology report, or I don't, like whatever you call it. Um, Someone's not sure what to call something. Someone's like relationship with someone is in some sort of situationship with someone, something to do with the like the like attorney, like the divorce attorney. Something about someone filing paperwork for a divorce and using this particular attorney because of their situationship, so that everything gets filed properly, but it's not like a big you know thing where everything's happening and out in the open, because there's something about like, because whatever this marriage is, it didn't take place out in the open, and something, there's something about that. Someone married someone in secret, like it was like there was like either this was done just like filing the paperwork some type of way. So because someone is an ordained minister, and they used that credential to create a false marriage for a friend, and someone else that's a contact that someone knows is a notary. That's come up before, that like someone notarized something saying that both parties were present and signed it, and that was not true. Only one of them was. And there's something about like this divorce paperwork. There could be something there about like some sort of hidden money and someone wanting to like take part of it in this like false divorce settlement. But it's like, but there was something else. It's like this like doing the divorce like this was like a last ditch effort to try to like cover some of those footprints, cover some of those tracks, because the original plan didn't work out. Yeah, for the FHD from earlier, for her demise, they were trying to, or his they were trying to like take out an insurance policy on this person and gain from their loss. And there's like something about the loss of that person, they weren't only going to gain financially, but it was supposed to offer some sort of like freedom to them as well, like from connection to the person. But like something happened here, and someone wised up to this situation. It's because they're an oracle. It's like they they absorbed all of the wisdom and information from the people who were planning this, like directly from all of them. It's like these people told on themselves even though they didn't say what they did. And it's not because they heard it with words. They heard it in between the words. That's where this person they were targeting, that's where their wisdom comes from. And it's like in some respects they didn't think that this person held this wisdom. Maybe they thought that it was false, or some sort of like uh they thought this person was a charlatan. Something could be significant about Charlotte, a place or a person. Um, and I don't know, there was something about this setup that was supposed to like expose the oracle for being a charlatan. But this has been backfiring, because it was through that wisdom and through that wisdom alone that that person evaded the plot to unalive them. I heard that a little birdie told them. And I know that's like a phrase that people use when there's like a snitch or a rat or something going on in the situation. And so that may be like the assumption that may have taken place in some respects among these people. But but the message was coming through that it was like no, like a literal ornithological bird told them. And it's because of how they receive that wisdom, how it comes through, that they were warned. They were warned every step of the way. There's something about those numbers, and like 30 being 5 steps ahead of 25. And it's like this person they were targeting, it's like they thought that, like, if they're this far, if like 30's that far ahead of 25, then they're like miles ahead of this person that they're targeting, that's like faking who they are. Like, that was like the mindset that they were in. They weren't actually behind them, though, in the race. You know how on like Mario Kart, when you get so far out ahead, all the people who are in last place, you start coming up behind them and lapping them. And that's what was actually happening there, that those people couldn't see. They just looked behind them and saw this person coming up behind them, and they were thinking, oh, we better hurry and stay all these steps ahead. But they didn't understand that that wasn't that person's true position. That was just their physical point in space. That this person was way ahead of them, actually, and was leading the race. Something about the winner takes all. Something about being number one, like a victory lap. I don't know. I don't know. There's some more like sports metaphors coming out here for some reason. Someone could like really be into that sort of thing. And a few minutes, like this other box, like another name has been like staring at me. I almost forgot about it. Because like this woman's name is Sandra Ann Taylor. That's not irrelevant. That's irrelevant here. It's those names individually that mean something to someone. Someone named Sandra, someone named Ann, someone named Taylor. Those are like three separate people. And at some point, someone with those names have been involved in this situation, whether that be of their own choice and accord, or whether they were like coerced into this somehow and didn't really understand what they were being involved in. And there's been a lot of misunderstanding in this situation. And I'm hearing that like what it really boils down to is like some or more of the people in this group's inability or unwillingness to see the truth, to accept the truth, and to honor it. They've been denying the truth and spreading lies. And all of that is catching up to them. It's like the longer these people have been lying and gossiping, the longer that they have been denying the truth of this person that they've been targeting, as well as their own individual truths, that the bigger and heavier the weight of the truth being forced upon them is going to be for them. Is something about because they fought so hard against this being real. Reality is really going to, I'm getting like all of these like phrases all at once. So like, I don't know, I hear like a lot of people in English that like knocked for six. I don't know, knocked out of the park, like out of the playing field again with the sports stuff. Um, like and this is not a home run. This is a foul ball. Um, they've been putting different people up to bat, and everyone has been striking out at trying to prove this narrative about this person that's been purported. And that's because that's all it is. It's their narrative. It's not the truth. And they will all be forced to see that in some way. And if they can't find a way to accept it, like it's going to like mess with their mental situation more. Like especially if this is the person that's whose like issues are like really severe, but it's it kind of goes unnoticed in a lot of ways for that person. I'm getting something about like a court mandated psychological evaluation. Mm. It's like there's something about that. And there's something else about a nurse, someone who works in the nursing field. It's like people all over the community have been utilized to try to make this work. And when one person fails and like can't quite come back and like try to get at this again, they send someone else in. And there's something about the people that they send in. They're they've tried some different tactics. It's like the first line of attack, defense. Oh, okay. Because it's like that's what it is. They're attacking this person, but they're trying to make it look like they're defending themselves from this person. Like they're playing the victim in some way. Um, Something. It's like they got together and sort of decided, okay, like, what's the best way going to be to like get at this person and like get under their skin and like trick them, fool them, mislead them, like to like the best plan of approach. And they decided to start with people familiar to this person, people they had a history with, a past connection with, so that that air of familiarity would encourage them to drop their guard and be more trusting based on, I guess, like a previous rapport that was built. Um, there's and there's some step of that failed really hard from the start because something about one of these people that was familiar to this person, they they overestimated their target's feelings for them. They overestimated how much this person felt like they could actually trust them. I'm getting that like someone didn't really have a clear picture of what this person's history with this person actually looked like. Um, because if they had, they might not have seen them as the best option to use for that scenario. And I'm getting they kind of made that mistake again with some like other people that they involved in like smaller, like lower scale ways. But there was one person that they sent in that was like a big mistake because this person can see right through them like a really clean window pane that doesn't have any sunlight reflecting off of it. Something about the sun, Leo, could be significant. But yeah, it's like this person thought if they like come in and like turn on their light, turn on their charm, let the sun shine down, heaven let your light shine down. I'm getting this person also use some sort of like spiritual facade, and they're like came off as like more spiritual than they really are, as like another methodology to get at this person. And I mean they saw through that as well, just like they saw through the charm, just like they saw through all of the lies and falseness. And it wasn't even like looking through glass. It was just like looking through air, as if almost as if nothing was really there. But that could be part of this charm, is like air energy. I'm getting that at some point there really was nothing there, because this person attempted to do like a sort of bait and switch situation. Like they did like love bombing at the beginning, and then they tried to just like up and leave and abandon one day. Oh, this person, it's like that didn't work because they didn't get the reaction that they wanted, because they were overestimating how this person viewed them. They thought they were more successful. They thought they were a better actor than they were. They thought this person was seeing them as a better person than they really are. So it's like when they did the bait and switch, like, oh, all this love bombing, and then try to be like, oh, gotta disappear and ghost. When this person was sort of like presented with that idea, because I'm getting it wasn't just a disappearance, because this person needed to like, needed to know, needed to read the temperature. They needed to know how it was going to be received. And there was also like a sick satisfaction in that person that like wanted to see the reaction, that like wanted to see the person be hurt by that abandonment. But what the person did not account for the fact that when they dropped that bomb, that they were just cool with it. They're like, oh yeah, that actually sounds like a good idea. Like, I don't think we should interact anymore. And then so when that's the reaction that this person got, they just immediately started backtracking on the whole thing, and they never really ghosted like that. They never went anywhere. It was the person who they were trying to hurt that actually ended up ghosting them for a time. See, that's the thing, because they could see right through this person and all of their games, they could just return the energy right back to them. So it's like the person who they were going to disappear on themselves disappeared. And it's like this person like didn't think ahead. It's like they thought they knew what they knew, but they didn't. They thought the person would be heartbroken, and they weren't. It's like 'cause the person was expecting this sort of behavior out of this person based on their history. Um, so when the target actually did the ghosting, the person who was trying to hurt them was like coming back trying to like reconnect and be like, "Oh, I didn't mean it," and like, all that and whatever. But really the person was kind of panicking like, "Oh shit, like I fucked up." Like they were just going to like leave and blow the whole thing like they don't care in the way that I thought they did, or like I didn't expect them to like set boundaries or like compartmentalize thing in like such a way. I don't know that that's part of what's going on here, is that like these people thought this person they were targeting was just so predictable. But in trying to predict this person's behavior with so much certainty and arrogance and hubris, they're actually finding out just how unpredictable this person is and just how well they don't know them like they thought. Because, I mean, this familiar person thought that they knew this target like the back of their hand. They may have even said that to try to convince someone that they were the right person for this job and that they could for sure get it done. And they didn't. They struck out. And so then there was like a new tactic to try to bring in someone who was a little more of a stranger. So that it's like trying to do like a Uno reverse, like a sort of counter tactic, thinking that maybe because there's not this history, because there's not, or there's like only a vague like acquaintance history, that this person will be caught off guard by that. Like, oh, I don't have this like all these like preconceptions and past evidence about how this person behaves. Like starting with a fresh slate, then maybe we can get something over on this person. Because then they don't know what to expect. But what they don't understand is this person has lived a life of operating in this kind of chaos and nebulous experience of awareness. But it's like, I don't know, the vibe I'm getting is kind of hard to describe. It's almost like this person can only see with their eyes a couple steps ahead. And these people were taking that at face value and thinking that that's why it would be really easy for them to like take care of this situation, nip it in the bud. Nip and bud, for some reason, could be relevant words here. nib, or pin, 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 like a pin number. They knew this person's PIN number. That was one of the things that they like thought was predictable. I don't know. There's some sort of like regimented things in this person's life that like appears on the surface, and that's what they saw as predictability. But they didn't understand the like complicated nuance network of information that's going on in the person's mind before all of that, or behind all of that order and simplicity that they see. They saw this person as being very simplistic. But I'm getting, it's like this person, like, orders themselves in a very simplistic way because it's necessary for them to do that in order to manage like the vast array of information that is accessible on the inside. Like, this person doesn't say everything that they know because they can't, there's not enough time in the day. But or or enough safety in the environment. So it's like I'm getting that they kind of thought that this person was unintelligent, and really there's something about like a different layer of intelligence that's not developed in the same way as these people that are being targeted. I'm getting this vibe of like otherization, of like division and I mean, I don't know, like reminiscent of political warring, of like creating factions and like discounting the other faction because of how it's like different from the previous one. But it's like they thought because this person was only like visually seeing so far ahead that that was all that person really truly had access to. And it's because they thought that like all of the sight and wisdom that this person, I guess, claimed to have, because they thought it wasn't real. They thought it was a lie. They thought it was a front. They thought that this person was trying to make themselves look like more than what they are. They weren't aware that like while this person can only see a few feet in front, that this person can feel for like miles. And it's like they had no idea, but it's because of their own stubbornness and disbelief and like willingness to see. That it was really these people targeting this person that couldn't see what was right in front of them, saying what it was. And it's like someone in this group, someone in this energy sought to humble this person. But what they didn't realize or weren't able to like see because they were blinded by their own perception and their own narrative about how they wanted to see this person because it made them more comfortable to see them that way. They couldn't see that that person already is humble in so many ways. That, like, making that claim wasn't any sort of like arrogance or like one-upsmanship or whatever, because I'm getting some more stuff about like a sports competition about like like I don't know, like someone thought someone was like just bragging and like trying to make themselves look like more than what they are. um I'm getting like the image of like that it's like this person thought that this person was like cubic zirconia pretending to be a diamond, and what was actually going on was that this person was really a diamond. They were just in the rough form, hadn't been cut, hadn't been polished. And and there's something about this situation and this person's attempt to humble them, to bring them down a notch, to shrink their britches. um that or I don't know, maybe I think I said that wrong. Something about, I don't know, like when like they thought they were too big for their britches or something. But they're not. They're appropriately sized. And the fact that this person went out of their way to try to like, I don't know, because this person felt like weirdly competitive, even though it feels like there's like a romantic interest, but there's this like weird competitive energy too, of like someone having too much pride, and like when faced with someone who is different than themselves, because I'm getting like two very different walks of life in these people. It was like comparing apples to oranges, and like this person was like looking at themselves as an apple and looking at that orange over there, and instead of wanting to like make personal choices that would like change the energy they were portraying from an apple into an orange themselves, it's like they wanted to find a way to like make the orange into an apple, or like something less. It's like it's like in a lot of respects this person might have been like objectively seen to be like doing better, more like well off of like a higher status. Like I said, like two different walks of life, two different like sectors, two different financial classes, but they saw this person as still having something that they didn't, and it made them jealous. And it's like they wanted to try to take it from this person, or at least even if they couldn't have it for themselves, like make it to where that person couldn't have it either, so that then they didn't have to feel as bad about their situation. And because this person sought to put energy toward like lowering this person, bringing them down, that was actually initiating the process that came to cut and polish the diamond in the rough. Something could be significant too, because I'm hearing that like from the movie Aladdin. Something could be significant about the movie Aladdin. Also, like double D or double D's or double letters in a name, double D's or double letters in a name. Also, something about like nostalgia, Ed, Ed, and Eddie, like the show. Any or all of those names could be significant as well, as far as involvement or signifiers. Yeah. Um, these people have been making their own nightmares a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like they tried to manifest a nightmare for this person so that they could feel better about themselves. But all they're really doing is manifesting their own nightmares for them to confront. These people could literally be having sleep issues and having nightmares revolving around the things that they've done and the actions that they've taken.